All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Twidwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
This is the Spoken Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Twidwell, inside the Starcade Media Studios with my guy, Trevor Twidwell.
What's good, everybody?
Hopefully sounding loud and clear and crisp for you guys this time, as this is taking for our show for this week. Full disclosure for anybody that isn't watching live or listening live, we had ourselves a little mishap at the beginning of the show, but you know what? We always bounce back. We always reality. That's the representation of what we do here in Kansas City. It seems like whenever we're down and out, down 10 points in the fourth quarter, we seem to rally. We're so happy for you guys to be with us, whether you're live streaming, podcasting, or YouTubing. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this time, as we have what I think is a fun-filled show, because as I said in our first take, I'll say it in the second take, we are about to get snowed the hell in out here in Kansas City. I think the entire Midwest is about to just get clapped with some snow and some ice. Looks like it's going to be pretty dangerous out there, so please, guys, in all seriousness, because we don't, we're not serious a lot on the show, but for the 30 seconds I'm about to be serious, take this seriously. Guys, please be safe out there. If you're driving to go see family, if you're out for the weekend, whatever you guys had planned originally and you're sticking to it, I'm not saying don't do it. Just please drive safely. Don't text and drive. Don't talk on the phone and drive. Don't be an idiot and drive. Don't be in a hurry. There's a lot of people out there, guys, that senselessly kill themselves and can hurt other people, and that's just not something we want to see happen. And with any of you guys or anybody else that's out there involved. So please be careful, guys. There's a lot of, like I said, senseless acts out there that take place in weather like this. We do not want to see that happen. How do we sound, Trev?
As far as what everybody else is saying, it says that we sound good, but they said Billy Hodges said, "Can you please turn Lance up?" That's all.
Turn me up a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
Say less. I can definitely do that.
So
then I sound correct. If I sound correct, let me know, guys. We're just trying to make this as quality as possible, because we want to give you guys a quality show.
keep us updated.
Keep us updated on that. But in the meantime, Trevor, we are, like I said, we have a lot to get to. We don't have a lot of time to do it. We've already lost a lot of that time, so we're going to try to make up for it. But before we get to anything else, before we get to Lance Rants, before we get to anything else, I saw a video on Twitter this week, and I was, you ever get like, Trevor, you ever see like those motivational videos, or you see like something that on TV that just kind of like get you pumped a little bit. You feel like you just took some pre-workout.
Get the juices going.
Yeah, man, like I went 6 to midnight immediately when I saw this video, and it comes from a guy named Justin Wood, who now I want to consider a friend and a friend of the show.
Shout out.
I honestly did not know who Justin was beforehand, but I saw his video, and I saw that he had, there's a lot of people out there making great content. Obviously, we know our guy, our producer, Clay, one of the Red Stripe Cinema, makes incredible work. He does, I think, the best work out there. But I saw this video, and I was like, I have to share this. I have to put this out there. So I reached out to Justin. I said, dude, you do great work. I would love it if we got to promote this on the show. Because it looks like he's gaining a lot of followers on Twitter now. I want to get his name out there. Whatever we can do on this show to help out, I want to definitely do that. So let's go ahead, Trevor. If we could, play this hype video. It's a Chiefs video, guys. It's a promo video. And it absolutely gets my juices flowing from Justin Wood. Go ahead, Trevor.
Gotcha.
Okay. But they beat the Ravens by a toenail yesterday. But that was dominate them.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers is wide open in the end zone with the game on the line.
Yeah.
That wasn't good defense.
It was, I've been sitting back, and for 5 straight weeks, I've been critical of this football team, and I'm like, man, there's no way they're not knocking anybody out, because they don't. And here's the thing that I look at. It's why I think they're vulnerable. They are the least explosive offense in the National Football League.
One of these days, they're going to lose a game. This is getting to be ridiculous. I'm chiefed out, so to speak. They're going to lose a game. You can't win every game 21-20 with a last-second 48-yard field goal. The luck will run out for Kansas City.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
Oh, if your nips aren't hard after that. I mean, listen, no disrespect.
Tingling.
But the last name Wood is the right name for Justin Wood because he gave me one right here on this video. I'm telling you guys right now, that is the... listen, Trevor and I are 90s kids. You know, we grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. So Snuff the Rooster obviously was a part of our childhood. Big song. You know, we loved that song growing up. And... you guys can finally hear me. Yes, we figured it out. I'm not going to tell you what it was. It's very embarrassing. Let me just put it like this. I'll probably hold the L after the show. But the point is, I'm this man. Yes, can cut glass, Julie. I was like,
Yeah.
boom, boom. There's 2 holes right here, dude. I was so hyped by this video. He played the perfect song, the perfect drop where Kelsey has his hand up in the air, the perfect just the way he cut it. Trevor and I are such big cinema fans. Just for us to see something like this from a KC native or at least a Chiefs fan like us. It's so cool that we have content creators like that here. Yeah. It motivates me and it inspires me to do better here at this show. So Justin Wood, Trevor, we could throw his information on the screen. There's his information.
Follow your man
right there. Hit your man up if you guys want some work done. Hit him up. I'm sure he can put together some great stuff for you guys. Maybe you guys maybe doing a bat mitzvah, or anything like that. You guys have some Kwanzaa parties. You guys want him to do the videos. Have him do it. If not,
also looks like our guy Justin Wood just had a birthday not too long ago, December 28th. So shout out to Justin.
Shout out, bro. Yeah,
belated birthday, my man.
This is our belated birthday party, birthday celebration for you, brother. So whatever we can do to help. That's it. That's his information on Twitter. I'm sure he's got an email and all that stuff right there as well. It looks like he works with Chiefs Hype. So this guy knows what he's doing, man. As you guys can clearly tell, the dude's a talent. And I wanted to give a shout out to local talent out here, guys, because we have some great content creators in the Chiefs Kingdom, and we very much appreciate it whenever we can utilize their content on our show to push them forward, because that is what it's all about here at the Spoken Podcast. So shout out to our guy Justin Wood. Hopefully we have him on the show one of these days. We'd love to have him on and talk about his story, his origin story, what other videos he's got going on. We'd love to share those as well. So wanted to start the show off by doing that. Without further ado, though, guys, it is time for Lance Rants. All right, my fucking mic was off. That's what happened. All right, guys, I'm just letting you know what happened. My microphone was off. I'm over here freaking out, doing all. My microphone was off. So full disclosure, you guys are welcome for the information.
Simple click.
That is, yes, the simple clicks of things can make a world of difference for show. So laugh at me, hand me some L's, put it in the chat. I very much appreciate it. And speaking of the chat, looks like we've had a lively bunch already, man. Shout out to all you guys that are already in here. The normies are in here with us. It looks like we got some newbies in here as well, but our Julia Gilly, Billy Hodge, Chief 65 TPT, Ruben DeCruz, Dustin Norton was in here. I know that he was earlier. But yeah, shout out to our guy Justin Wood being in the chat as well. We love having you as a part of the show, man. Hopefully we can have you stick around. I will warn you, we are a very opinionated bunch. We're not your casual Chiefs fan that's going to sit here and just go with the flow.
So if your video sucks, we'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll tell you, Justin, that video sucked. Can't tell you that right now because this last video just absolutely just clapped.
That was great, man.
But dude, yeah, keep up the great work, brother. But yeah, hopefully we have you stick around here, man, and be a part of what we do here, brother. But yeah, there's a lot to discuss, Trevor. Before, and I know it's a down week. The Chiefs are going to be resting a bunch of starters. This game doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but we're still going to break that game down because I think there's some things we need to talk about with that one, Trevor. But you know what I want to talk about today more than anything, and at the top of the damn show? Disrespect. And how I am starting to more and more Enjoy the living shit out of it. If anybody follows me on Twitter, at Lance the Spoken, you know that I am someone that is obsessed with maintaining and obtaining receipts. Because I'm the type of guy that if I get something wrong, I'm going to hold that L. But if I get something right, I'm going to let you know about it. But there's a lot of opinionists out there, a lot of people out there that are making their dollar off opinions. And I think it's great. I think everybody should have opinions on as many things as possible, but I think we should have educated opinions. I think there's a lot of people out there that just follow the horse and just go with the flow and just follow whoever else is the popular vote, the popular belief, the popular opinion, and people don't really think for themselves. We don't do that here. And I try to keep a lot of people in check from the national level all the way to our level. As far as what people are thinking, what people are saying, we got to keep each other in check on things and stay educated.
Yeah, take accountability, baby.
Well, if we can put this on the screen, Trevor, because I tweeted this out. According to Chris Broussard from First Things First, who I overly respect and is a coworker of our guy we love, Nick Wright, Patrick Mahomes, to him, isn't a legit MVP candidate because, quote, he has pedestrian numbers along with 15 wins. This season, Patrick Mahomes finished second in completions, seventh in yards, seventh in touchdown passes, first in fourth quarter comebacks, and first in game-winning drives. Last season, we did a little bit of this last week. We did the player 1 and player B. Player A, or player 2, rather. Last season, Lamar Jackson won MVP while finishing 17th in completions, 15th in yards, 11th in touchdowns, 19th in fourth quarter comebacks, and 46th in game-winning drives. But because he won 13 games as opposed to 15, I guess that somehow gave him the edge over Patrick Mahomes this year. Then we had people, and we can go show the next screen if we can, Trevor, our lovely partner Dave Portnoy, who was making this big case for Joe Burrow and talking about how if Joe Burrow wasn't on the Bengals would be a horrible team. And you know what? He's right. But I also know this, Trevor. The Bengals are a borderline bad team with Joe Burrow. And I saw him make this case about Josh Allen in the same tweet. So I quote tweeted and I played the same shtick again, Trevor, because I have to keep it consistent with these people to let them know what they're missing when it comes to Patrick Mahomes because they're so focused on poor little Joseph Burrow and poor little Joshua Allen and how much they have to go through and how much they have to carry. Patrick Mahomes literally has not had a left tackle all season. They literally had to move their left guard over to just play it enough to where Patrick could literally survive in the pocket. We all know this. But people also don't consider that the Chiefs hadn't have they lost their wide receiver 1 in week 4. Before the first month was over. It was the first quarter of the game against a divisional foe on the road.
Lost their wide receiver 2 in preseason.
Lost the wide receiver 2 until week 16. They didn't get him back until the end of the season. The running back 1 missed 2+ months after week 2. The right end 1, Amenahu, missed the first 13 games. Their quarterback 2, who looks to be coming back, by the way, we're going to talk about that in a second, and Jalen Watson, missed the last 10+ games. They had a top 10 schedule, still went 15-1, 7-1 versus playoff teams, and yet their quarterback, who also led in completions and game-winning drives, like I said earlier, isn't even mentioned. Why would the Chiefs be without? What would the Chiefs be without Patrick Mahomes? Because Trevor, what I'm hearing is, and you got to help me out here, man, help me understand this.
Let's talk value.
We're hearing that Patrick Mahomes can't win the MVP because his numbers are pedestrian. We're hearing that Andy Reid can't win Coach of the Year because he has Patrick Mahomes. And they, this is their standard now. Mm-hmm. We also saw the Pro Bowl, Trevor. Do you know that the Chiefs only had 5 Pro Bowlers? 5.
15-win team.
5 Pro Bowlers.
Possibly 16-win team.
1 defensive player, Chris Jones. The number 1 scoring defense in the NFL has 1 Pro Bowler. So what is it? Who is it? How is a team 15-1 with one of the toughest schedules in the NFL? How did they go 7-1 against postseason teams? How did they win the toughest division in the AFC without an MVP, without a top 5 MVP, without a top 5 Coach of the Year, with 1 Pro Bowl defensive player? How did they do it? This is now, the burden of proof now falls on those that are making these votes. We can sit here and continue to bring up all the sense. We can sit here and keep talking about all the things that are, the facts of it all. I need the people that are like Chris Broussard, by the way, other people that have votes to explain to me why this team's been so successful. How they doing it? You guys said all year long, they don't got a knockout punch, like Rex Ryan kept saying. Which, by the way, my guy Clay Winther just messaged me, said that the Jets are interviewing him. I'm so happy about that because I want Rex Ryan the fuck off television. He's fucking terrible, literally terrible.
That would be hilarious if he got that job.
I hope so. I hope he gets it back. I really do. Because honestly, in all seriousness, I think Rex Ryan's a much better coach than analyst. Dude's a terrible analyst.
Oh, he was a good coach.
He's a solid coach.
Yeah.
I don't know how well he's doing today's NFL,
bro. Yeah.
It's been like 10 years since he's coached, but regardless, yes, I would love to see him off the panel. He's
just furthers though to all those statistics and the tweets and the takes you just posted. I mean,
I got more, by the way.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm just saying, like, this obviously just furthers the obvious truth that we've had for the last several years now that the Chiefs are they're victims to their own standards.
Yeah,
that's literally all this is. Because Broussard wants to talk about pedestrian numbers. He's top 5 in damn near every stat category, and that's pedestrian. That's only because he's already expected to do that and more.
Right.
It's just, and the fact that he has those numbers in the top 5 in damn near everything, top 7, top 5 in damn near everything. We won 15, maybe possibly 16 games, and not even a Pro Bowler, let alone MVP candidate. It's wild, bro.
Let's look at the next stats here, Trevor. I tweeted this, and this went absolutely viral, man. Like, people went nuts with this one. The 2024 Bengals defense ranks 29th in points allowed and 27th in yards allowed. 28-year-old Joe Burrow's stats through 16 games. As you can see, very, very respectable numbers. And I apologize for the listening audience, but I'm trying to read this to you because I know you guys can't see this stuff. He's completed 70% of his passes with 4,641 yards, 44 total touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, 7.7 yards per attempt with a 110 quarterback rating. Those are fantastic numbers.
Of course, balling.
The 2018 Chiefs defense ranked 24th in points allowed and 31st in yards allowed. 23-year-old first-year starter Patrick Mahomes stats through 16 games. 66 completion percentage with 5,097 yards, 52 total touchdowns to 12 interceptions with 8.8 yards per attempt with a 114 quarterback rating. The 2024 Bengals are currently out of the playoffs. The 2018 Chiefs won the 1 seed and hosted the AFC Championship. This is what we call levels. There are levels to greatness of individuality. And Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow both are great quarterbacks. But this is showing you guys who actually is. This was Patrick Mahomes. The reason I intentionally did this was to show you that Joe Burrow is in his prime right now. These are his prime years. Patrick Mahomes was just starting in this league and took a defense that was literally the equivalent of what the Bengals, because all we keep hearing, Trevor, all year is, oh my God, this Bengals defense is terrible. And they are. They suck. They are not a good defense. I'm not trying to excuse the Bengals defense.
Yeah.
I am contextualizing the difference between what the value of Patrick Mahomes is to Joe Burrow, because according to our guy at How About Those Chiefs, thank you for this stat as well. He had it in the comments when I tweeted this. There's only like a 0.3 point per game difference between the Chiefs defense that year and the Bengals defense this year. So even though it's 24th to 29th, it's actually the exact same scoring per game that they are going through, because it's obviously a different year and defenses score, give up more points year to year and things of that nature. But the point is, these are almost the exact same defenses. Patrick Mahomes was an overtime loss at home in the AFC Championship away from a Super Bowl with a bottom 5 defense. Joe Burrow is probably not making the playoffs.
With 2 absolute elite stud receivers.
And not to mention Gesicki and Chase Brown.
Yeah.
So, you're talking about 3 to 4 legitimate weapons. And you just said 2 probably top 10 receivers right now.
Yeah. I think they're both elite receivers.
I think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in football right now.
Statistically, it's not even a question.
He's having an amazing season.
He's without question the wide receiver 1.
And T. Higgins just in the game they had 3 touchdowns.
He's probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year outside of maybe Saquon, but he's right up there with him.
And this isn't to say, Trevor, I'm not even going to compare the weapons, because Patrick had weapons. He had prime Travis Kelce, prime Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins,
yep.
and Kareem Hunt for half the season.
For sure.
He had legitimate weapons. But I'm saying, if you look at the way that Patrick Mahomes started his career with the same obligations and the same detractions as to what Joe Burrow's dealing with 5-6 years into his career, you can't tell me that they're the same guy or that Burrow's just as valuable.
Yeah.
Like, Patrick Mahomes had to put up historic numbers that year for them to give him the MVP, because as I remember, and I don't know if you do, Colin Cowherd was heel on Patrick early on. He was saying that Drew Brees is without question the MVP. And if it's not him, it's Andrew Luck. And if it's not Andrew Luck, who cares? I remember his specific words. He didn't have Patrick Mahomes in his MVP candidacy. I remember all the conversations where we got to give Drew Brees the MVP this year, guys. It's time. Because Drew Brees was having a great season. But Patrick Mahomes was clearly having a better season. This is why I'm trying to figure out, Trevor, from people's points of view, what exactly is the MVP based on? Is it team success? Is it stats? Because if it's stats, Trevor, to that point, Burrow should have a case. But if it's not stats, then what is it? What are we basing it off of?
Again, man, this is just further proof that the league and whoever is running the show and the script is 100% in favor of the Chiefs, because all this is going to do is just motivate the Chiefs to be that much better in the postseason, right? So if anything, if I'm the opposition, if I'm any other fan base, I'm looking at this, I'm actually upset that they didn't get these accolades. I'm upset that Patrick Mahomes is basically vacant in this debate between who's the most valuable player in football, when we all know without question he is the most valuable player in football. I would be upset if I was another fan of another team or another player on another team, because all this is going to do is just stoke the flames of Mahomes, and these guys have just continued to do it year in, year out in the postseason. This is just going to make them more motivated. So if anything, it's actually a bad thing for the rest of the league, for us to get these snubs and for us to get this lack of recognition. It's
you nailed it right there, because the next thing I was literally going to point out, Jared, I tweeted this out as well this week, was the fact is the two best things that could have happened before the Chiefs go on their playoff run or for the three-peat have already taken place.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is getting a ton of rest, and Patrick Mahomes just got absolutely disrespected by the MVP and Pro Bowl votes.
Well, let's not
the first time he's had a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, let's not forget that he wasn't the number one player. When they did the rankings, Tyreek Hill was.
Yeah.
So that's still in the back of his mind too. You don't think you think he forgot about that?
And
Absolutely not.
People are trying to tell me, well, Lance, the reason he didn't make the Pro Bowl this year is because of his numbers. Really? Then why is Zay Flowers a Pro Bowl?
His top 5, top 7 in all categories numbers.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
With 15 wins.
Sure, real quick. Why is Zay Flowers a Pro Bowl over Brian Thomas?
Right.
Brian Thomas didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Brian Thomas has been a better receiver this year than Zay
Brian
Flowers.
Thomas is top 10 receiver this year, rookie. Yeah.
Didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Spare me. Don't come at me with stats. Because Travis Kelce, who although had a good season, led all tight ends in Pro Bowl votes. And he isn't the best tight end this year.
Statistically, no.
Brock Bowers
Brock Bowers easily was.
But Travis Kelce got the most votes. So don't come at me with stats. That's what I'm talking about, man. We have got to set a foundation as to what we're baiting. This is the danger, Trevor, with having the media calling what these are. I've always disagreed with the media voting who is the MVP.
Yeah, it is a fair question. Like, how are we making these decisions?
Yes,
like,
because it's biased.
What is the criteria that qualifies someone for these spots?
Right.
Because it can't be popularity, because Patrick Mahomes is still number one in that. It can't be statistics, because Patrick Mahomes is top 5, top 7, like we just showed in all those categories, along with the wins to follow that up with the meaningless game at the end of the year.
Yeah.
No other team in the league has a meaningless game other than the Chiefs this season. We're going into this weekend without even a care or worry in the world. No other team can say that, really.
It's like true, like
as far as like locking up the number one seed.
Yeah.
Right. Because
the Bills can't move up or down.
Yeah, and the Detroit Lions and the Vikings, that game's up in the air.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, no other team is really like this solidified, this comfortable heading into the postseason other than the Chiefs. And that's the guy you want to keep out of the Pro Bowl and the MVP race? Okay.
And this is something else I want to move off of that, because I know we can continue to harp on that. We did it last week, and I want
to keep talking about it.
Yeah, we can if you want. But there's something, Trevor, I got to get off my chest right now, man, because it makes me even more angry than the MVP stuff with Patrick Mahomes. I was watching Monday Night Football this week, Trevor, and I heard Scott Van Pelt, who I love, man. We grew up watching SVP our whole lives on
the
sports.
Personality, yes, but it takes sometimes.
He irks me sometimes, man, with some of the shit he's been saying.
Yeah, he's a low key Chiefs hater though.
He's low key, bro. He's called me out on Twitter about me calling him out about it. He ain't low key about it. Yeah. He knows. Anyway. He said, Trevor, and it irked me because I've heard other people say it, but when I heard somebody at his profile say it, that's when I had enough. He said, the Chiefs do not want, and the Chiefs and Chiefs fans don't want none of the Bengals.
Bro, I want the Bengals so bad just to shut all these people. It's so wild to me, dude.
Look. I was the guy, Trevor, remember a week or two ago, I said, I think the Chiefs are going to do whatever they can out of respect to Joe Burrow and the Bengals to keep them out of the postseason because they respect who Burrow is. I was that guy at first, right? I believed that the Chiefs, little gamesmanship, right? Let's keep them out of the postseason because we have the power to do so, right? But then I heard SVP not only say the Chiefs, but then said Chiefs fans don't want any of the Bengals.
And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like you just said, Trevor, I want them. I want the Bengals. I hope today.
They're not going to make it, though.
I know, but I hope. I'm picking the Steelers. Let's make this official real quick. Who you got? Ravens, Browns?
Yeah, I mean, taking the Ravens, yeah.
By a lot. Steelers, Bengals?
It's give me a nail biter, but I think the Bengals pull it out.
Oh, you think the Bengals win?
I think the Bengals win.
Okay.
Yeah, but they might be without T. Higgins and Chase Brown's probably out too. So there's.
I hope
go
you're
either
right.
way.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys banged up.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
Steelers have to win.
I hope the Bengals win 41-10 today. I hope they kill the Steelers, right? And they make the playoffs because the Dolphins lose to the Jets, right? Like, because Tua's supposed to not play. It's literally a pick 'em right now. It's a half-point bet on the Jets right now. It's a little pick 'em.
Right.
I hope the Jets win, right? And I hope the Bengals go and play the Bills, and then they beat the Bills. And guess who comes to Kansas City?
Come on now.
The fucking Bengals, baby. I hope it happens, Trevor.
Bro, bring that gelatin defense over here, please.
Like our guy Nick Wright said, I'm not stealing this from him. I'm giving him credit for this take. He said, everybody's sitting here focused on the Chiefs being so fearful of the out of playoffs Bengals right now. Who should be afraid of the Bengals right now? The Bills. They're the team. Trevor, who was the last team before the Chiefs went in their last year and beat the Bills at home? Who was the last team to knock Josh out of the playoffs? Joe Burrow in that snow game, remember? Yeah. Went up there and killed the Bengals 26-10.
Yeah.
Killed them. Josh Allen was terrible in that game, right?
Julia Goulia says Bengals are that one night stand that keeps texting.
Boy.
Spot on.
Preach, Julia. Dude, it has been years since they have even threatened the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The team that should fear the Bengals is the Bills. Because look at what are their strengths, both teams. They can score with the best of them, right? But both defenses struggle really bad, especially against good quarterbacks. Joe Burrow would throw over 450 yards and 3 touchdowns on that Bills defense right now. Easily. I would pick the Bengals in that game.
Bro.
But here's the thing. We're not talking about the Bills. Everybody gets up with the Chiefs. As if they should be fearful of a team they've beaten 3 straight times.
Yeah.
One of those was in the AFC Championship when it mattered most. And Joe Burrow threw 2 picks to 2 rookie cornerbacks in their first postseason. Spare me. Don't come at me with this shit about the Bengals and the Chiefs should fear them. I want them now. I don't want this gamesmanship. I hope the Chiefs fucking win today.
Bro.
And win Sunday. And then the Bengals win today. And then the fucking Dolphins lose. And the Chiefs and Bengals are inevitable. I hope it happens.
I'm just honestly lost by it. Like I still, people are still so hung. It's just the fact I've never seen one win matter so much. One playoff win matters so much to a team that didn't even win the Super Bowl. If they went and won the Super Bowl, that would give them a little more credence for that win. That's going to be one of the most forgettable wins in NFL history that people still cling to because they were one team that it blows my mind how much credit they get for winning one time. We've won 3 times since then,
and
including a playoff game.
And the Chiefs were up 18 points that game. When was the last time Patrick Mahomes blew an 18-point lead?
But I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
it had
more to do with the Chiefs.
It was a massive blunder on Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, it was a growing pain moment for Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. He just had his was a little delayed because he had so much success early on in his career. That was just a blunder, and every quarterback in NFL history has them. Every quarterback. The great Tom Brady has massive issues, had massive, terrible games in the postseason and failed. It's happened several times in his career. Or just straight up missed the postseason in general, which is something we can't relate to. But, yeah, man, it's wild to me because this is a team that's scratching and needs so many things to go their way to make the postseason. And the Chiefs are supposed to be scared of this team, arguably the worst defense in football, and we're supposed to be scared of this team. That's so confusing to me, bro. Like, if we were gonna sit here and we can pick who we wanted to play, and we were gonna design the easiest path in the postseason, and the Bengals somehow snuck in, the Bengals would be the first team I want to play.
Yep.
I'd rather play them than the Chargers or the Broncos. Because those teams have lately proven to play tough.
That'd be the 3rd time you face them in a year. So yeah, I agree.
I mean, it took us a blocked field goal to beat the Broncos. I'd rather not face them right now. That defense is stymied, bro.
Clay was in the chat. Red Trap Cinema said all of us. All of us would rather face the Bengals than the Bills. 100%.
If we were going to put together an easiest schedule, easiest path to get to the Super Bowl this year, the first team on my list would be the Bengals.
The fucking Bengals.
I mean, yeah.
Probably the Dolphins if they made it in.
Sure.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a shootout.
I'd rather play the Dolphins than the Bengals.
Sure, if they do, but I mean, if the Bengals make it, the Dolphins probably
yes.
can't.
No, that's one of the. It's one of the other. Yeah,
right.
It's between the Broncos, Bengals, and Dolphins.
Right. So I mean, but the Bengals make it. That means the Chargers probably get in, and the Broncos. So 3 teams in the AFC West probably get in. I'd rather not face a divisional foe for a third time this year. That sounds
Probably won't.
that's a big challenge. I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if we did design that easiest path, give me that cake defense.
Right.
To let Patrick Mahomes with all his weapons back now, everybody's healthy. I like our odds.
Yep.
So this shit is just exhausting, bro, to be honest. Like it's like it feels like it's just the media trying to find some way to give a participation trophy to Joe Burrow for having such a great statistical season.
Yep.
They're just trying to pump him up because they know he's going to miss the playoffs. And they're trying to butter him up before he takes this L and misses the playoffs after having a career year.
Right.
That's what it feels like. He's having a career year, and it's going to be all for none. It's going to be very forgettable because no one's going to remember it because there's going to be nothing to show for. Congrats, bud. You're in your prime, and you're wasting a season. You're going to miss the postseason. Your fault. You shouldn't have started 0-5, my guy. I don't know what to tell you. Yep. Or 0-4, I think they started this season. So, I mean, that's...
Losing to the Patriots in your home opener.
I mean, getting absolutely destroyed by your own division, too. You can't win your divisional games outside until they started falling apart.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, so...
Well, the good thing is, guys, we got some great news this week. The Chiefs are getting healthy at the right time. Trevor, if you want to show that Jordan Schultz tweet about the cornerback that the Chiefs did not, and I didn't think they were going to be getting back anytime soon. Looks like they're going to be getting him back. According to our guy Jordan Schultz, the Chiefs are designating cornerback Jalen Watson returned from IR, and he will practice Tuesday, sources tell NFL and Fox. This is a huge boost for Kansas City, who has been without Watson since late October due to a broken fibula. He and Trent McDuffie are one of the best quarterback duos in the league, and KC could now have him back just in time for the postseason. Trevor, you and I both talked about how we accepted the fact that Jalen Watson was lost for the season. But we had seen Jalen Watson on Twitter and on his Instagram kind of post some vague stuff. I think he got some really good news about 2-3 weeks ago that he wasn't expecting. I think his body healed faster than he was supposed to.
Some of the Hollywood Brown situation.
Same with Hollywood Brown, yes. We were anticipating we were getting Hollywood Brown maybe. Remember, the initial reports was maybe for the postseason Hollywood Brown would return. He returned with 3 games left, or 2 games left. Technically 3 games. So the news could not be getting better for the Chiefs, Trevor, because it isn't just Jalen Watson. If you look at this next one I've tweeted out, we go ahead and put this out, getting right at the right time. Look at these names right here real quick. Would you look at it? DeAndre Hopkins, Kareem Hunt, Hollywood Brown, Isaiah Pacheco, Charles Omenihu, Jalen Watson, DJ Humphries. All of these players either missed 2+ months of time during the season or didn't start the season on the roster. The Chiefs will have all 7 available for the postseason. If you don't think this absolutely bolsters their chances, you are out of your mind.
But the Bengals, though.
Yeah, we got to watch out for the Bengals and their 31st ranked defense, guys.
Careful
with that. Even though the Chiefs just beat them earlier in the season without literally every guy on this list.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, literally every guy on this list was either not on the team or hurt. Jalen Watson was healthy, but still.
We got a stat from our guy Clay Windler from Red Tribe Cinema. Heard on 96.5 The Fan, opposing QB completion percentage against KC drops from 67% all the way down to 60% when Watson is on the
Jesus
field.
Christ.
If that's not an impact player, I don't know what is.
That's like literally going from a top 5 quarterback to Bryce Young. And no offense to Bryce Young, he's been playing better football, but let's be real. He's been ass for the majority of his career. Yeah. You go from basically Patrick Mahomes, 67 completion percentage for his career, to 60%. That's like a backup quarterback. If you're not completing 63% of your passes, you're usually not a very good quarterback in this league.
And
that's insane.
And honestly, dude, it's probably going to be better than that too because we have better. We're more regrouped with our pass rushing as well with the Omenihu back. Because when Omenihu came back, J Watt was already pretty much gone. So now we have better pressure up front with J Watt back. That percentage could probably drop even lower, bro. Because we're gonna have better production up front.
So if you look at it, remember, sure, when we were talking about the needs this team's had, it was left tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, and pass rush. And running back. Look at this list. Every single one of those needs are met. D-Hop with the possession receiving, Hollywood Brown with the field stretching, obviously Isaiah Pacheco with his energy and running abilities, Omenihu with the pass rush, Jalen Watson and his ability to play so well on opposite side of McDuffie, and DJ Humphrey left tackle. And I will stand by this.
Just being available.
Yeah, I will stand by this, guys. And I know I got dragged for this take, which I can't believe. And I understand that we all love Joe Thuney. But guys, Joe Thuney is not a natural left tackle. He should not play that position for months at a time. Caliendo has stepped up. He's a hell of a backup. But Caliendo is a backup for a reason. This offensive line is at its best when Joe Thuney is back at left guard. That is when it's at its strongest. Because if you notice, Trevor, yes, Patrick Mahomes has been protected better, which is great. But the run game has suffered because of it.
Great.
The run game has suffered bad, though. If you notice, their run game has not been nearly as effective because you don't have Joe Thuney in the middle creating those openings. So you got to get him back at left guard.
Just run to the right.
Get DJ Humphrey. Yeah, there you go. Juwan Taylor's killing it over there, right? You got to get DJ Humphreys right. I think he's going to play week 18. And if he does, I think he's going to show that he is reliable. He's a veteran. He knows what to do. He can play solid. I mean, for Christ's sake, Trevor, the Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different tackles, left tackles. Yeah. They've done it before. They can do it again. And I think DJ Humphreys is just as good as Orlando Brown Jr. So get him out there, get him right, put Joe Thuney on. Now, here's the thing. If it fails, let's say in the divisional round, they're playing like the Steelers, right? Whoever it is. Hopefully the Bengals. But let's say they're playing either of these teams, and DJ Humphreys is struggling.
Yeah.
Guess what you got to do?
Do the old switcheroo.
Just go put Joe Thuney back out there.
Yeah.
Because you know he can do it. So, like I said, get yourself some insurance. But like I said, if you look at this list of guys that are either returning, have returned, or on the team now since the season began, they meet all the needs this team has ever had. And now they're going right into the postseason rested, healthy, motivated, and pissed off. Because all the Pro Bowl snubs, they saw their quarterback get disrespected openly. They've been listening to all the noise all year long. This team, LaShawn McCoy, I watch a show called The Facility.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy told a personal anecdote when he was with the Chiefs in 2019. He said he remembers hearing they were all watching the TV in the clubhouse, and Patrick Mahomes was like sitting up in the front, and these guys on the TV were saying that Aaron Rodgers was quarterback 1 in the league, and Patrick Mahomes stood up and said, "Fuck that, I'm quarterback 1." And what did Patrick Mahomes go do that year? Oh, kind of won the Super Bowl. Kind of had an historic run where they had 3 straight games of trailing by 10 or more. No team's ever done that before in the history of the postseason and won all 3 games. You know, subtle things like that. This is the guy that's leading this team. A team that now is as equipped as they've ever been. Remember when I told you, Trevor, before the season? I said, this is going to be the 2020 run they should have had. In 2020, that was the best team Patrick's ever had, in my opinion. They went 14-1 in games he played. And that was a stacked team. But what happened? Their offensive line was depleted. They had no shot in that Super Bowl against the Bucs in their house. This is going to be that redemption for 2020, where that team is 15-1 in games Patrick Mahomes plays. It doesn't matter what happens in this last game, but they're 15-1 in games Patrick Mahomes plays, and their offensive line is not depleted. So that's going to be the difference, and that's why the Chiefs are going to three-peat. So be excited, guys. Look at this list again if you can. Look at it. Would you look at it and admire the fact that Brett Veach has done such an amazing job of rebuilding and retooling this roster. I don't like the way they handled the left tackle position initially, but I think he's doing as good as he can given the mistake he made, unlike what he did with the wide receiver position last year, but I digress. They still found a way to overcome it. I think they're going to overcome their problems again this year. Trevor, let's talk about this Chiefs and Broncos game, okay?
Yep.
I know everybody's just assuming this is just going to be a meaningless game, and all intents and purposes, it is. It does not affect the Chiefs one iota when it comes to their seeding, their playoff run, any of that. But then I saw the line, and I got excited. I'm not going to lie, Trevor. I hammered the Chiefs plus 10.5 because I think there's an element of this game that people are missing, and it's the biggest element of it all. For the first time all season, the pressure is 100% on the opposition of the Chiefs. This game is a free willy-nilly game for the Chiefs. And there's motivating factors for the Chiefs. Carson Wentz could legitimately get himself a starting job if he goes out there and plays well. This is literally what happened with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold got that job with the Vikings when they drafted J.J. McCarthy because of what he did in the year previous with the Niners when he had his opportunity. Mm-hmm. What could Carson Wentz do right here? Because, yes, the Chiefs are resting a lot of veteran players. There's going to be a lot of young guys out there playing, too. Guys that are going to try to make a name for themselves. This is like a preseason game to them, Trevor, where, you're trying to make the team. You're trying to impress the coaches. And Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are going to have a game plan for this game. They're not mailing this one in.
On our guy, Baca 87 on YouTube, Andy Reid is 5-0 against the spread in his coaching career when being a double-digit dog.
Boom. Thank you for that, Baca. That's a great stat, brother. Yep. Thank you for putting that on the show. That is 100% why I am so confident.
I just don't know who Carson's going to be throwing the ball to. That's the only question.
This is what I'll say, and I'm going to hand it to you, Trevor, because I'm talking a bunch. I think there is a significantly better chance the Chiefs win this game outright than them getting beat by more than 10.
I agree with that.
Because of the fact, like I said, I know Sean Payton's an awesome coach, and he's done a great job with the Broncos. I'll give him a lot of credit for what he's done this season. They have probably the best offensive line in football. They have a good, solid rookie quarterback.
Yep.
They have a good run game, and they have a very sound defense. I will give Sean Payton credit for that.
They've been a great team overall this year for the most part.
But they're coming into this game, Trevor. All these guys on this team. The Broncos haven't made the playoffs almost a decade. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these guys that have been on this team for years have zero playoff experience. And Bo Nix has zero playoff experience. And Sean Payton hasn't been in the postseason in like 7 years. So there's a lot of nerves. They're in front of their home crowd. They're expected to win. And if let's say, Trevor, they go in this game and they 3-and-out on their opening drive and the Chiefs go and score a touchdown, imagine the tension in that building. How's it going to feel if Carson Wentz goes out there and throws like 3 or 4 passes, hits 𝚂𝙺𝙾𝙺 for a 15-yard touchdown down the line on like a seam route? Or a backup tight end. Let's say whoever you want to talk about.
I think Noah Gray will probably play.
Noah Gray. Let's say he hits Noah Gray for a 15-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, the Chiefs are playing today.
I think Nico's going to play some receiver.
We'll find out. There's a lot of doubtfuls. I know that doesn't mean those guys are going to play.
Nico's been our return guy, so
yeah. I think Nico will play. I think McCole Hardman's going to play. Well, he might be getting off IR.
I don't know if he
that. Andy said there's a chance he's off IR by postseason, so he probably don't play this game. Yeah. But I'm with you on Nico. I'm with you on Noah Gray. The point is, I think that Carson will have enough pieces around him to make this game competitive. It's going to come down to, do the Broncos answer the call when the pressure is at its loudest? That's my question, dude. And I want to see how they bounce back. But I think this is going to be a close, competitive game either way it goes. I'll give you my prediction at the end, but I want to get your thoughts on this game overall, Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Carson Wentz, having an opportunity here to maybe earn himself a job or just even get the juices flowing just in case he does need to play in the postseason for whatever reason. I'm looking at a lot of these guys on the defensive side, too. A lot of these young guys trying to fight for a job, like the 𝚂𝙺. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of run in this game. See what he can do. Maybe some, King Felix out there. Seeing he's probably going to get a good, healthy amount of snaps. He's been looking good as of late, so maybe he can continue that and get after this really good offensive line, but accept this challenge. Some of these young DBs and safeties and corners out there that need to get some live bullets. Yeah, that's what I'm really excited to watch too. Is some of these young guys that we haven't really seen on the field on the defensive side to really get out there and get some work. Because I think we have a pretty deep pool of talent, especially on the DBs. There's some safeties I want to see. Maybe Hicks get some more run out there. I want to see that kid some more. See if he can go make some plays. I think Jamari Connor's probably going to play a little bit too. Keep him warm and let him kind of still develop as a player. But the story should be Carson Wentz and is Carson Wentz and what he can do with whatever core of guys he's going to be throwing the ball to. Yeah, man, this game it's hard to really kind of get a gauge on how it's going to look. Because it's obviously a different quarterback. It's probably going to be a different type of game plan for us. I don't know if we're going to try to be run heavy, if we're going to just let Carson sling it. Humphries is going to be playing left tackle, I'm assuming.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Or Kingsley going to play. That's the thing. Like, I don't know who's going to be out there playing left tackle.
Well, this is what I know right now. According to the Chiefs Twitter page, Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Trent McDuffie, Nick Bolton, Kareem Hunt, George Karlaftis, Travis Kelce, Justin Reed, and Drew Tranquill are doubtful. But the guys that are out for sure are Isaiah Pacheco, Juwan Taylor, McCole Hardman, and Jalen Watson.
Right.
So Jalen Watson won't play this week, but he'll be ready for the postseason. So Isaiah Pacheco, that's obviously for his ankle. Juwan Taylor, probably just breast. He's probably banged up.
Yeah.
McCole, he's just, he's not going to play because he's still banged up with that leg. And then Jalen Watson coming back from IR.
I'll say this. I do think the Chiefs lose this game, though.
Okay.
I do think we lose. I think it'll be a competitive game. I don't think we lose by 10, 11 points. But I do think the Chiefs lose this game. I don't think it's worth it for us to really go balls to the wall in this game and try our best to win this game because especially against a desperate team that has to win this game in the Broncos. So they're going to try, things can get dirty out there, man, when teams are desperate to win. You know what I mean? And I just don't think it's worth risking anybody really getting hurt. I think if this game does get a little out of the reach in like the fourth quarter, I think Carson probably gets benched too. And we'll see some 𝚂𝙺𝙾𝙺 out there to finish the game off and just kind of get out and get prepared for the postseason. But I think for the most part, this game will be competitive. I don't know who's going to be running the ball.
Looks like Carson stealing 𝚂𝙺𝙾𝙺.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not sexy. It's not ideal, obviously. But, I mean, who knows, man? This is one of those games where, again, that stat. Andy Reid's 5-0 all-time when he's a double-digit dog. I don't think it really matters who's playing quarterback. You know what I mean? Andy Reid's probably going to have some things drawn up for Carson Wentz because he's a different quarterback. Some things no other defense has seen this year because it's a different quarterback. Different quarterback, different game plan, different type of plays for Carson. So, I mean, we've seen Andy Reid get the best out of his QBs, and he leans into their style and the way that they play. So maybe he has some things drawn up for Carson Wentz that we haven't seen all year. Obviously, we haven't because he hasn't been playing. But I'm just interested to see who – on the defensive side, who's going to make plays? What young bucks on that defensive side that hasn't seen the field much is going to make plays, and who Carson's going to be throwing the ball to. I think it will be a healthy amount of Noah Gray out there as far as tight end wise. But other receivers, I mean, maybe Nico. I don't know if Justin Ross is going to be making an appearance. I would imagine he probably will. We're going to have to elevate and get some guys in the mix here. Justin Watson will probably be up there a decent bit, I'm sure. I don't think a lot of the starters, because I know no one's out, but Hollywood Brown's probably going to be getting rested, I'm sure. Maybe Hollywood Brown is the guy, though. Maybe they continue to roll with him, keep getting him, that work so he can kind of stay warm because he's missed so much time. Maybe keeping him in rhythm is a big deal. So maybe Hollywood Brown will be out there for the majority of this game. I don't really know. That's just the thing, though. I think the Chiefs lose, but it'll be a competitive one, though, in my mind.
Well, let me just put it like this, man. The names that I'm looking at that they did not mention at all, that means that they're going to play. I'm looking at Charles Omenihu.
Yeah.
Leo Chenal, Mike Dana. I mean,
they're going to be active.
Jaden Hicks,
you
said.
How much they? Yeah, Jaden
Brian
Hicks
Cook.
Play. Yeah.
I mean, they got Josh Williams going to be playing. I mean, they got like a lot of starters that are still going to be playing. That's just the defensive side. Offensive side. How about this, Trevor? The fact that Leo Chenal starting, he's the one that made the game-winning play.
Yeah.
So you got to keep him in
Leo's probably going to play a lot.
Yes. DeAndre Hopkins, Trevor, has a lot of incentives in this game. I don't know if you heard. He'll make $500,000.
It won't take very long for him to get that.
If he scores that touchdown, one more touchdown, he's got $500,000.
Yeah.
And if he gets I think it's like 150 yards, which I doubt he'll get, it's like another $1 million or something like that.
It's a tough get though, man. This is a good defense.
In that game against the Broncos early in the season, D-Hop had 4 catches for 56 yards.
Yeah.
With
Patrick Mahomes.
Samaje Perine's going to play. He had 2 catches for 37. And Xavier Worthy's becoming a more and more a real player in this offense. He's going to play in this game. Now you're right. We don't know how much.
Yeah.
But let's say they play 2-3 quarters. Let's say the majority of these guys or play the whole game because, to your point, yes, they probably don't want to go balls to the wall. But Trevor, like you said about Andy Reid, though, there's almost like an arrogance or like this cockiness about Andy sometimes. Like, oh, I get a challenge this week. I get to have Chase Daniels my starting quarterback. Bet we'll win by a field goal, and that's what he'll do in the week. We've seen him do this throughout his Chiefs tenure.
Right.
Alex Smith sits, Nick Foles comes in, or Chase Daniel comes in, they win. And a game they're not supposed to or don't need to. And then they win.
We've also seen us lose those ones.
Sure, but I'm saying
like Chargers.
But just last season, the rest of the starters, because they couldn't go up or down as a 3 seed, they just played Chris Jones and a bunch of guys, and they went 13-10.
And this is also a situation where you hold the hopes of a divisional foe making the postseason or not. There's that, and there's also, I think there's something to it. This is why I still believe in preseason games to a degree, that developing a winning mindset and continue that winning culture going into the postseason, winning a game, continuing, getting that 16-1 record and keep winning games, not losing a game, not going into the postseason on a loss. Something about that too is just kind of good for the locker room, the morale of the guys and everything too.
And again, like you said, they're holding that team in the balance, Trevor. There's also the fact that, like I said, the Chiefs have opportunity to make history here too, because they could be the first 19-win team. If they win this game, go 16-1, and then win 3 playoff games, they'll be the first 19-win team in Chiefs in NFL history. Yeah. Also, the fact that, like I said, you're looking at a team that has a real shot here to, like I said, the disrespect is what I think is, because like you said, they're keeping the winning ways, but also letting disrespect kind of motivate you too, because I think that's a big motivator, especially for men. When you're doubted the way that a lot of these guys are right now, minus 10.5,
yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, we'll see about that. Because we've seen, how many times this year, Trevor, where a team set, like the Browns and Ravens game, they were like minus 14.5 point favorites, and the Ravens lost. Like, we've seen this stuff happen before, you know what I mean, where it's unexpected, and the fact, dude, that this is the way I think it's going to go, and I'll give you my prediction as well. We don't even need to do like key players or anything like that, because it's going to be really hard to detect.
Right.
I think what the Chiefs' goal in this game is, obviously, stay as healthy as possible. Let's give them everything we got in the first 2 quarters. Let's see how it's going. If it's competitive, we're staying on. If they're up a touchdown or 2, we'll ease up and we'll just, you know what, hey, let's get some rhythm in. Let's stay healthy. Let's stay fresh. And then we got next week off, and they'll get ready for the postseason after that. That's why I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. Because of the fact that I think they're going to come in there with an awesome game plan, like you said, Trevor,
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is going to look sharp because he's fighting for his next job. He will not be in Kansas City next year. I think he will be starting. There are about 7 jobs I think Carson Wentz can have right now.
Oh,
I think he'd be with the Raiders. I think he'd be. There was a list that I had, Trevor, the other
and
day.
all these head coaching vacancies too. Any new head coaching coming into a new job, they're going to need to find a guy that can start right away, like stopgap QB.
Yes,
he's the guy. He's going to have so many job offers.
He can absolutely. He's 31 years old. He can be an absolute bridge quarterback. Right this very second for a team that's either going to draft a quarterback or is a year away from drafting a quarterback. That's right. I mean, look, dude. Like he could take the job of Aiden O'Connell, Will Levis, Drew Lock at New York. DTR and Jameis Winston in New Cleveland. He can take any of those jobs.
Yeah.
That's just 4 or 5 right there. Off the top of my head, like you said, when the vacancies come out, then we'll figure it out even more so. But I think that Carson's going to go in there and play sharp. I think he's going to get it to the playmakers and let them create with their feet. I think the defense is going to play solid because, like I said, they're going to play with no pressure on them. And I think, Trevor, that Bo Nix is going to come in a little flat. I think he's going to look a little shook. Maybe I'm going to be totally wrong. But this dude, he's also been prone to turn the ball over. And the Chiefs' defense over the last month have been doing what? Forcing turnovers.
Sure.
So I think the Spags have a solid game plan, being aggressive, blitzing a lot, going at Bo Nix, making him have to try to create with his feet, maybe cause a fumble or two. I think the Chiefs are going to squeak this victory out, dude. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, and by no means do I say go out there and lay down.
Yeah.
I want to go play this game to win, of course, but I'm very weary of playing several starters for long periods of time in an aggressive manner and against a team coached by a coach that's been dirty at times and throughout his career, and this is a team that's going to be gritty and going to do whatever it takes to make the postseason. But
isn't that the team
massive for the Broncos? And
isn't that a reason you want to hold them out? You know what I mean? Like, to your point, that's a great point. I didn't really think about that. Sean Payton's been known to have dirty teams.
This is a team that's going to be doing anything they can,
sure,
any kind of edge.
But I
don't want to risk anybody getting hurt.
Wouldn't that be a team you'd want to keep out of the postseason then?
I'm not. No, because when it comes to postseason, we're going to have everybody out there. We're going to have our entire artillery out there, and us against them. I mean, they would have to make it to face us anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not, especially with what we've dealt with all year long, having any kind of significant injury to the defense or the offensive line or any offensive weapon. Hollywood Brown, if he's playing a lot, if it's getting out of hand out there, just pull him from the game. I just don't want anybody getting hurt. That matters more to me than this win, personally.
That's fair.
Having a healthy team heading into the postseason.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
This just feels like one of those games where it's going to get chippy because the Broncos are desperate, dude. This is winning their end, basically, and they need to win this game specifically for Sean Payton. And like I said, Sean Payton's had tendencies to have some guys go do some things, to make a statement to get some kind of edge. Yeah. And if things are getting chippy out there, I'd rather just avoid that entirely.
Fair enough.
But I still want to play the win, obviously.
Yeah.
If it's a good game, it's just been a good competitive game, and things aren't getting too chippy out there, and we're not risking guys getting hurt or getting in, ejections or suspensions. Who knows what can happen in these divisional type of games? Yeah. I'd rather just avoid that altogether, take the high road, and just look forward to that bye week and whoever we're facing in that second round.
Score prediction.
So I do have the Chiefs losing, but I think it'll be more of a defensive game than anything, in my personal opinion. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I didn't even see what the over-under was. I imagine it's 42, 43 points probably, maybe 44.
That's respectful.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a defensive game between these two defenses because both these defenses don't allow too much points on a weekly basis. So I'm going to say the Broncos win like 27-24, tight game.
The over-under is 40.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I'm actually giving us more points than that. That's maybe it won't be that high scoring, but I think Carson could go surprise some people depending on who he's throwing the ball to.
Well,
that depends too. So I do think it'll be a defensive game, but there's be a backdoor cover on the over under anyways because 40 points is pretty low. I think both these teams can score over 20 points. So I'm going to say 27-24 Broncos.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to force as many turnovers as the Broncos score. I'm going to say the Chiefs force 2 turnovers. And I think that Carson Wentz is going to have an opening drive touchdown, whether it's to Noah Gray or Nico Remigio or something like that. It's gonna be a real feel good kind of touchdown because I think the Broncos. I'm gonna be very detailed right here. I think the Broncos get the ball first. I think they go 3 and out, and I think the Chiefs get the ball second. And Carson Wentz drives down the field like a 65-yard drive. 65, 70-yard drive, and they score a touchdown, but the pressure on the Broncos never recover from that because I don't think they're expecting to get punched in the mouth early in the game. I think they're expecting for the Chiefs to potentially lay down in this one, and that's not what the Chiefs do. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Chiefs are going to carry the lead for the majority of the game, and then they get a field goal at the end of the game to kind of ice it. They might be tied at some point, but I think Harrison Butker kicks a field goal, gets the Chiefs a victory. They win 20-17.
All right.
Keep the under. I'm going to say keep the under 40. 20-17, Chiefs win this game. So that's our predictions. You guys let us know what you guys think in this as far as what you see happening in this game. Does it matter to you at all? Do you guys care? Does Carson Wentz play well? Because I actually think he's going to play really well. I think this guy's going to go and get himself a 3 or 4 year deal somewhere else.
I mean, it is a tough spot for Carson, though.
Yeah.
This is a tough defense in Denver. I mean, that crowd is going to be fucking lit, bro.
But like I said, I think this is his last chance to get a bite of the apple. Because if Carson goes out there and sucks, he's going to be a backup for the next 3 years until he retires.
This is also a very big moment for Bo Nix in his career, making postseason his rookie year. It's massive.
Oh, yeah.
So Sean Payton is going to have a game plan up for this game, bro.
That's exactly what I said. All the pressure's on them.
Sure.
Because Carson's going to have a job in the league no matter what. Like, he's too good. He's not going to not find a job.
Bo Nix has played great in big moments, man. Even last week in that loss, he had some incredible plays in that game.
Right.
He dropped some absolute dimes, 2 different touchdown passes that were, on the run. It's not like Bo Nix lays down and just crumbles under pressure. The dude, he steps up in big games, and this is a game that only one team necessarily has to have. And I just feel like this is a moment for the Broncos here, man. I think they come out with the victory, unfortunately.
All right, well, let's see how it goes. But in the meantime, Trevor, we need to get to the people. It is time for Speak It. What are the people asking us, Trev?
All right, so if you guys got more, I've only got 5 in here for now, but if you guys do have more questions, feel free to chime in and add some to the list here. First one is from 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾𝙳𝙴 on YouTube. UFC question: If Alex Pereira fought 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾𝙳 at middleweight, who you got? Or Ḥamzat, I'm sorry, Ḥamzat, yeah. Chimaev at middleweight, who you got? Also, UFC embrace more catchweight fights.
If they fought at Ḥamzat's weight, I'm picking Ḥamzat.
Give me Chimaev, yeah.
I would pick Ḥamzat.
Especially if he gets to the ground, he's fucked.
Dude, Alex Pereira's never really fought a wrestler, let alone a world-class elite wrestler. So, yeah.
Chimaev's just different, dude.
And you're talking about Pereira having to drop weight? That's so tough on a fighter.
Yeah, and the thing it's a bad matchup for Pereira because Chimaev's a lunatic.
Yes.
He's going, he has like that Mike Tyson mentality. He's going to go in there, he wants to eat you.
He's going to kill you, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
unpredictable.
I'm definitely gonna take Chimaev at that weight. If you were to ask me, hey, have them do a catch weight, and Chimaev's got to go up, 30 pounds.
I still would take Chimaev.
I think Pereira could probably bop him one because I think Chimaev. I've seen him fight
matchups for me.
Gilbert Burns beat the shit out of Chimaev, like in as far as punching him around that fight.
Mm-hmm.
He took all the punches, but you saw Chimaev. He got roughed up.
Sure.
So. Pereira, if he those brick hands, dude, that Stonehenge motherfucker he is. If he hit Chimaev, I'd like to think he'd probably be the one guy that could KO Chimaev.
He can KO anybody.
But I'm taking Chimaev 8 out of 10 times.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question there. James T. Kirk, can the makeshift offensive line protect Carson?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that because I think the Chiefs are gonna have a game plan of getting the ball out quick. Carson's never been a quarterback that you want to have the ball in his hands for long periods of time. Anyway, he's more of a quick string kind of quarterback.
He's been a sneaky mobile guy.
He's a mobile guy too. So if there is pressure, he can evade it. I do think that there's going to be a lot of the normal guys outside of Juwan Taylor that will be playing in this game because you guys heard I didn't see Joe Thuney on that list. Joe Thuney's probably going to play in this game at least for a little bit. I'm DJ Humphries. I'm expecting him to play. I'm expecting Creed Humphrey to play. I'm expecting Trey Smith to play. So he's going to have the majority of a good offensive line out there. And as we know, the Chiefs have some really good backups.
Yeah.
Caliendo's been very solid. Norzad's a good backup. CJ Hansen, guys like that, unless they're not going to be active, those are solid backups, man.
Wanya Morris could probably play guard if need be, right guard or whatever.
Right.
I'm sure he'll probably be out there for some of that as well. But it's a good question, though, because the Denver defensive line quarterbacks at the top tier of the list in the NFL. I mean, I think they led in league in sacks for the majority of the season this year. So this is a team that likes to blitz and get after you. So Carson is going to have his hands full, man. He's really going to have his hands full on both sides, man. So I think they can protect him, but it is going to be a challenge. This defense of the Broncos has been great all year.
Yeah.
So next one from our guy 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾𝙳𝙴 on YouTube. If Jokic wins MVP in a ring, is he a top 5 center of all time?
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be his resume is going to be undeniable.
Yes,
it's going to be undeniable.
Statistically,
he's going to be.
Would that be 3
the
MVPs?
most efficient center of all time?
Would they 3 or 4 MVPs?
It'll be 4. He went back to back.
Yeah, so I think it'd be 3.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be 3 MVPs, and if he wins another ring, that'd put him at 2 rings. That's more than a lot of other all-time great centers. Like Hakeem, he got 1.
He's going to surpass. I mean, numbers wise, he's going to be the best center we've ever seen because what he does with the ball, he's
positionless, really.
He's a big power. He's a point guard basically. That the center position can bring the ball up all the way up the floor and is one of the best passers in the game.
Right.
A good 3-point shooter if need be. One of the best post presences in the game.
Yep.
So underrated defender still at the rim, in my opinion. Just the way he does it is very uncoordinated and it looks sloppy, but the guy, numbers-wise, his resume is going to be damn near unmatched if he keeps this pace, bro.
Agreed.
So if he gets another ring and an MVP this year, which he definitely could, the Nuggets are still a great team. Not as good as they should be, in my opinion. They've probably going to move on some guys, maybe make some trades, I think, at the trade deadline. But yeah, man. Jokic is working on an all-time resume 100%. He will definitely be top 5 without question, in my personal opinion. You can't really deny it anymore. Julia Gulia. The more I look back on this season, it's starting to look more and more like Travis's last year. Y'all think he comes back for one more?
Trevor and I have had our conversations on this off the air, and I'm conflicted because as it stands right now, I am still of the belief he does come back for another season because he is under contract, and I think that there's a certain motivating factor for him where he knows that Andy Reid's still going to be coaching. He knows that Patrick Mahomes is in his prime. And this team, it isn't like, even though this is a three-peat and this would conclude a lot of things as far as historics are concerned, I'm going to just go out and say it. This team could four-peat.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. A lot of this has to do with the outcome of the season, too.
Is it crazy?
What my take is here?
Yeah, is it crazy to think, guys, that the Chiefs would, next season, if everything goes as we expect it to, the Chiefs are going to be a top 3 Super Bowl contender next season. So
we're going to be better on paper.
And again, Travis Kelce,
back.
I think Travis Kelce was like 2nd or 3rd in receptions this year amongst all tight ends.
He was coasting
like
this year.
5th in yards.
Yeah.
Like 7th in touchdowns. And he coasted this year.
Yeah.
So like,
you don't think he can do that again next year? You don't think he can do what he did this year?
I think there's a really good chance he's back next season. Now, obviously, I think next season will be, no matter what, will be his final season. I think he's not going to sign another extension at 37 years old, 36, 37 years old. I do think that's when he hangs it up. But as I sit right now, I do think that Travis Kelce comes back for another season. I do, unless he gets some real bad injury or something in the postseason, which I'm hoping not. He never really does. But if all things go well, win or lose, I definitely think if they lose, he's coming back no matter what. Yeah. But if they win a Super Bowl, I still think he comes back for another opportunity.
I think Travis coming back regardless. I think he's a guy that's the Kelce brothers, man. They're all about the game, and the fans. Travis Kelce's a guy I don't see not fulfilling his contract.
Yeah,
he's just one of those guys that he's gonna be back, and I think he can 100% do what he just did this year.
Right.
Travis Kelce, by all means, people's opinions, even though the numbers will say differently because he's up there in the catches and yards amongst all tight ends, top 5. It felt like Travis Kelce didn't do much this year.
Right.
I mean, his touchdowns obviously are way down.
Yep.
Noah Gray kind of became that guy when it came to the tight end touchdowns, which is fine. I don't really care how we win games. We win games. But Travis Kelce can 100% mimic what he just did this year again next year.
Right.
Especially coming off another Super Bowl victory. I think if we win or lose, he's coming back. I think he wants to utilize his youth as much as possible and drain everything he's got left to win as many rings as possible.
Yeah, once you're gone, you're gone.
Right.
You know
what I mean? And yeah. So I think Travis Kelce, in my personal opinion, whether we win or lose this year, is going to come back next season. Julia Gulia, what if Nick starts to press and literally gives the game away? That's kind of where Lance, I think, was the pressure is going to get to Nick's, according to Lance. I tend to think the other way. I think Nick's is going to have a solid game here. But our defense, the way they've been playing, would not be surprised if I'm 100% wrong here and Nick's absolutely shits himself and this defense has several takeaways because that would be awesome.
They came into
I would love
Arrowhead.
to sit back, kick my feet up, and just watch our defenses go to work.
I mean, think about it. The Broncos came into Arrowhead with no pressure on them, no expectation to win that game. The Chiefs were like 9.5 point favorites, and they were a blocked field goal away from winning that game. Now that the roles are reversed, it's at their house with all the pressure on them because if they win this game, they're almost essentially going to the postseason. Mm-hmm. So this is just one, and like I said, we've seen the Chiefs do this before, man, where they're not supposed to win this game because their backups are in, and all of a sudden they fucking pull it out.
Yeah,
I think they do it again, man.
I love that. I mean, you want to keep divisional foes out of the playoffs.
We want the Bengals in, baby.
Of course we do. I'd much rather face the Bengals than the Broncos. All right, Shaggy Shane, our guy. The New Orleans, this is less of a question than it is a statement. The New Orleans Saints interviewed Eric Bieniemy twice, in quotes, in one offseason in 2021. Now they are interested in Matt Nagy.
Yeah, I think Matt Nagy has a really good chance of being a head coach next season because of the fact that not only has he's a part of a dynasty again, but it's also the fact that Matt Nagy has been a success. See, I don't understand how people have a negative viewpoint on Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
First of all, it isn't his offense he's calling, guys. So when people shit on him this year, guys, it's Andy Reid's offense.
Y'all remember Mitch Trubisky? He was a playoff quarterback.
Right,
under Matt Nagy's
twice.
tutelage.
Twice.
A playoff quarterback.
He took Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs
You
twice.
see how bad, Caleb Williams is struggling over there in the Bears?
Trevor, he
That's
had
a lesser roster
He
who
had
took
Mitchell
them to the
Trubisky and Nick Foles way past his prime.
Yeah.
Like 34-year-old Nick Foles.
Yeah.
And he had a winning record with those guys.
Who was he throwing the ball to, bro? That team was not good. Not good, bro. It's so crazy. Yeah, twice with Mr. Trubisky.
Went to the playoffs twice with those quarterbacks as his quarterback.
Yeah.
2 backups.
They had a couple good defenses over there for sure, but
Matt Nagy was, and if it wasn't for that stupid ass doink kick, they beat the Eagles in the postseason.
Yeah, man.
So he had a postseason win too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matt Nagy's a good coach.
I love
I
Matt
believe
Nagy,
in him. He's only like 47 years old.
Yeah.
So the way the NFL is going now, he would be a prime candidate for someone.
there's gonna be so many vacancies. And
Yeah.
he's gonna have an opportunity, and the Saints would make sense for sure, especially after winning the Super Bowl in that location. James T. Kirk. I do watch college football a bit. In my opinion, I don't see special in Shedeur Sanders. Do you guys see anything? I'd take Travis Hunter at number 1. Agree?
I think Travis Hunter's a good pick for a certain number of teams.
Travis Hunter's not going number 1, guys.
No, he's not.
That's not
I would say Cam Ward would go before Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Because I think the quarterback is going to be the first one that goes. And this isn't a great quarterback class. In fact, it's kind of shitty, which is great for the Chiefs because I think there's some trade partners they might have in the earlier part of the first round, but we'll talk about that another time. I like Shedeur. I think he's got a lot of it. I don't know if he's ever going to be a star in the league, but he's got the size, the arm strength, the accuracy downfield.
He's Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
That's who he is.
That's a horrible take.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor? What? Now you gotta tell me that. That's disrespectful as hell.
I don't think it's
Tyrod Taylor was like wasn't he an undrafted player?
I think that's what his role is going to be in the NFL. I think he's going to be a backup. He's going to get drafted high. Someone's going to lean into him as their franchise. He's never going to be a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. I don't think Shedeur Sanders.
What?
I just don't think Shedeur. I've watched several, and I'm with James T. Kirk on this game. I've watched Shedeur play well. I'm not gonna act like he hasn't played well. He absolutely has. But we've seen this. They can't all be good here, guys. Like we've seen.
I'm not saying that. I'm picking one.
Okay, but remember how high people were on like guys like Drew Lock and all these other players that have come in this league. I just this is.
I wasn't even a 3rd round pick.
Listen. This happens all the time. We've seen guys get highly touted, and I'm not acting like he's a bum. He's not. I don't even think Tyrod Taylor's a bum. I'm not saying he's going to be him exactly, but I think he's going to fit into that kind of mold. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be a good, solid backup that's going to play for several teams. And I'm not. Listen, this is my take. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that my personal opinion. This is what I think he's going to be in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be a star quarterback. Even you just said that. You don't think he's going to be a star.
No, I said I don't know if he's going to be a star or not. I think it's going to come down to where he goes. If he goes to a shitty franchise, you might be right. Because a lot of the development comes down to
chances are he's going to be a Raider or one of those.
Well,
I'm just
that's not entirely true because what we're hearing is there's a lot of teams that are backing out on the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes.
Why is that?
Because Deion Sanders is trying to get his son to go to a good team, and I don't blame him. Because John Elway did the same thing. Eli Manning did the same thing.
Sure, I'm not
You know what I mean?
laughing because that's a silly thing to do. I mean, of course.
Right. So I'm saying, Trevor, real quick, if Shedeur Sanders was to go to like Matt LaFleur, I'm not saying he's going to go to, but like, let's say he goes to a good quarterback coach. You don't think Shedeur Sanders could be a really good quarterback?
I mean, realistically, what team that doesn't have a solid, solidified quarterback situation that he could go to? That's a good situation.
Right? New York Giants. Brian Dable saved Josh Allen's career. He turned Josh Allen into a good quarterback. We saw 2018 and 2019 Josh Allen, right? Brian Dable gets hired as their OC, turns him all the way around, and then you saw what Brian Dable was able to. He got the most out of Daniel Jones. If you gave Shedeur Sanders a Brian Dable
with the Malik Neighbors,
God,
Ryan Tracy, Tyron Tracy,
that team's not as bad as they look.
And that defense is pretty stout compared to what they've dealt with and have to constantly be on the field. I get that might be a situation.
And they got a top 5 pick.
I mean, Daboll's on the hot seat too. Daboll might also.
According to the
I know. I don't think he should. I don't think it's fair. I don't think he should lose his job either.
Him.
But I can. But it's the Giants. They make terrible decisions. That's out of Daboll's hands. They extended Daniel Jones. That's out of Daboll's hands.
You'd agree that Dable was a good choice though.
But is the Giants really? I know they have pieces. I know they have a good coach. But like, is that a good situation for a quarterback to trust that the front office?
Well,
of
you just
team?
asked of all the teams that are capable of getting Shedeur in like those.
So your best answer is the Giants, bro.
Hold on, think about it. You just listed off a plethora of good weapons.
Sure.
And they're young.
You know who had that this year?
Brian Dable, hold on. Good defense, and it's in a market like New York. You know, Shedeur Sanders would love that market. He'd eat that market up.
That market could also eat him up.
Maybe so, but the point, he's grown up in fame, though, dude. A lot of those guys, they do well. You know what I mean? Like, guys that grow up around famous parents, they usually understand and handle, or they're Chet Hanks, either one.
Hey, I love Chet Hanks.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, I think that's a great spot. I think it's a very realistic spot.
That's a decent answer. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I want to be wrong about it because I love the whole story. I love Dion. How do you not love Coach Prime? I mean, I just love what he's done. He's good for football. This family's good for football. Yeah. It's not a LeVar Ball situation. This is totally different because LeVar was a absolute bum.
You know, he never lost.
Yeah, he's got a son out there dropping bars instead of dimes because he can't be on the court. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm shaky on Shedeur, bro, as a potential really good quarterback in the NFL. I am.
For it.
Very hesitant.
You put him in the right coaching, I think he does it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got all the
Mark
talent.
Sanchez had a lot of talent too, but
no, not really. I mean, and even Pete,
not really.
No, but even Pete Carroll said that he wasn't ready for the pros. And he was right. He left early. You know what I mean? Like Mark Sanchez was a USC, and let's be real. How many USC quarterbacks come out and flourish in the NFL? You know what I mean? Like Shedeur is a much more talented
Carson
quarterback.
Palmer.
Sure. Yeah, Carson Palmer was an injury-prone quarterback who was good, but
he was
injured
good when
a
he's
lot.
healthy.
Injured a lot.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders is extreme talent, dude. He is a one-of-one type talent. And this draft class, let me finish. In this draft class, there's nobody, not even Cam Ward, in my opinion, has his talent. Cam Ward is a better, more polished quarterback, but Shedeur had to. I am telling you, this kid, if you just removed his last name, I think he would get more respect. Because of the fact that he wouldn't have his father's shadow over him.
Like more notoriety. I think he gets more notoriety and respect because of his name.
No, I think like guys like Eli Manning do because they're not as good as people actually think they are. Shedeur, I think, would be viewed as more of a Cam Ward if his last name was Ward. If it was Shedeur Ward and some kid that just killed like he does, you put his statistics up there, you'd be like, dude, this kid, he's not living in his father's shadow who's a great all-time player. You know, Peyton Manning's your brother who's an all-time great quarterback. You know what I mean? Like Eli wasn't as good as his brother.
I know that, but I think I think he gets the most notoriety because he beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. I think that's what gives him the most notoriety, let alone his name for sure. But like, that's the world watched him beat Tom Brady twice. I'm not saying he beat him is a tough thing to say.
Steve Spagnuolo beat Tom Brady.
Granted, yeah, Eli wasn't great in those games, but those defenses were insane.
And 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady, Spags held him to 31 total points. Yeah. Who isn't beating Tom Brady with that?
Best DC of all time.
You know what I'm saying? That's the GOAT we're talking about.
5 rings on his hand.
Spags.
Got a fistful. But you know, Brent does have a good point here too. If Shedeur went to the Rams and sat behind Stafford for a year, and
I like that.
That makes a lot of sense, man. Even though I think Stafford's still got a lot. In the tank.
I like that, Brent.
Been awesome, but that would be like an ideal.
That's ideal as fucking McVay would, dude. Oh my god, can you imagine what McVay could do with Shedeur? I'm telling you, if he lands in a good spot, dude, he's gonna cook. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you he's gonna be an MVP. I think he could be a top 10 quarterback in this league. I do.
God damn.
I do, man.
No way.
Fucking Taylor.
No way.
Jesus
no way.
Christ.
He's never going to be a top 10.
Disrespect that
never
kid
going to be a top 10.
Rod Taylor.
Out of here.
Christ.
Kyle Henning in the chat. Say what's up, Spoken Crew. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Mr. Henning. Shout out to the boy.
My boy, dude. Love you, man. Hey, congratulations to you guys.
Yeah.
Dude, the Kingdom Says podcast. You guys have 200 episodes now, 200 plus episodes. Thomas Pike, Garrett, all you guys. Congratulations to you guys. We know what it's like to get to 200. It's a grind. I know you have your schedules. You guys have your fans. To get to 200 episodes of the show, praise to you guys, man. Much respect. Love you, Kyle. We just talked a couple days ago. Always has my back, man. I love that. I love that dude to death. I appreciate him for what he does for us, man. So shout out to you, bro. Thanks for being in the chat today, man.
It's more like Kyle winning over there. James T. Kirk with the next question. If the Bengals do get in, do you think Buffalo can finally beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals?
No, I don't. I think it's a terrible matchup for the Bills. I swear to you guys, it's something about Joe Burrow going into Buffalo that just makes so much sense to pick him.
Dude, and with the way that the Bill defense has been playing, Joe Burrow probably light their asses.
Imagine what Jamar Chase would do against that secondary.
I would pick the Bengals for sure.
Christ,
I would definitely pick the Bengals. Matchups make fights, bro. Matchups make fights. And
I love that matchup for the Bengals.
Yeah, I would definitely pick the Bengals, which is crazy because we're sitting here laughing at the Bengals if they make it, and we would want to see them probably first and more than anybody, but yet the Bills have the third best record in the league.
Dude, Josh Allen.
And we're like, oh yeah, pick the Bengals.
Josh Allen would shiss if they made the league, if they made the postseason.
I think it would be a shootout, but I think you put the shootout in the hands of the team that's the better shootout team, in my opinion, which is the Bengals, because that's all they've been doing all year, because they've been giving it up and having to keep up with all these high scoring games. The Bengals would win that game, in my opinion. Shaggy Shane, I'm at work. How are the roads?
Well, as you can see right here, there's clouds forming, and then there's a snow coming down on my left side, Shaggy. So, as you can clearly see, I'm a meteorologist. We're inside, Shane. I don't know. I heard it's supposed to get bad, buddy. Please be safe on your way home because I know you have a long drive.
You got 98% precipitation.
We got precipitation.
Yeah.
More
Possible
precipitation.
fleet, heavy on the
And
snow.
it's coming right here.
No, the roads are going to be bad, but hopefully, Shane, you get out of work soon so you can get home, get safe before the roads start getting bad
buddy.
because it's going to be snowmageddon this evening and all through Sunday. So kick back, relax, and watch some foosball, baby.
Kyle said it's already getting bad in Wichita.
Oh yeah, so that's
coming
a few
up
hours
right
away.
now, yeah.
So it's working its way here.
Shit.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe, Kyle.
James C. Kirk with the final question. Tyreek is flirting with the Chiefs again. Would you take him back? Hill is a bit of a diva now. Bruh.
I don't give
been
a
diva.
shit. Give me Tyreek Hill yesterday.
Yes,
if there's any way the Chiefs can go and get Tyreek Hill, you go and do it.
Absolutely.
And this is coming from the guy that said I'd love to see him bring D-Hop back for another year.
Swap that out.
With
real
Hollywood
quick.
Brown. If it meant, if you said, hey Lance, you gonna keep D-Hop and Hollywood Brown or Tyreek Hill?
Give me Tyreek.
Give me Tyreek Hill. In a heartbeat, guys. We cannot forget how great this man is.
He hasn't been healthy this year
and
either.
was
Yeah.
with Patrick Mahomes. There's no doubt about it. He's still a top 5 receiver in this league. If you gave Patrick Mahomes Tyreek Hill with this defense still, watch the fuck out, man. I don't know if it's going to happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. I don't know. I would take it in a heartbeat because Tyreek Hill is still an elite monster playmaker in this league. No question about it.
Absolutely. Brent, the last question unless we get somebody else here in the last minute before the buzzer. Brent, besides QBs, who are some rookies that impressed you this season throughout the NFL?
I mean, rookies in the NFL.
Tyron Tracy.
Oh, Tyron Tracy was one of the most, and he was a guy we loved out of the
Malik
draft.
Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas, you talked about him early on.
I was
man.
high on him
Yeah.
coming in, dude. His profile was just insane.
Yeah.
He's a do-it-all guy. Malik Neighbors is probably the better talent, in my opinion. But as far as like physical abilities, Brian Thomas is the better receiver, in my opinion. And it showed. He had the better year, honestly. It was close. Malik had that blow-up week in the last week. But, dude, Brian Thomas with the quarterbacks that were throwing the ball, and granted, Malik Neighbors as well. But back to this question, I mean, Tyron Tracy, my 3 would probably be Tyron Tracy because he deserves more work. He should have had a better year than he even did because they kept giving Singletary the damn ball early in the year. Tyron Tracy, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, probably forgetting somebody, I'm sure. Obviously, I mean, outside of QB.
Braylon Allen, for 20-year-old player, he played good.
Oh, Ladd McConkey, too, bro.
Ladd McConkey was awesome.
Ladd McConkey, I mean, I hate talking about a Charger, but the kid, I wish we could have drafted
He's the
him.
best in the
So
league
good.
against man coverage.
I mean, I love Xavier,
you know that?
bro.
He's the
but
best rated
Ladd
wide
is
receiver
super
against
good.
man coverage.
Yeah, he is a stud. A lot of good rookies this year, man. Even on the defensive side of things. But yeah, I think I think those would be my guys. I like a lot of the offensive rookies this year. So many good guys.
Yeah.
Who's going to win offensive rookie of the year though is tough. That's a tough one because I think Brian Thomas Jr.
He
deserves
didn't even
it.
make a Pro Bowl, so
It's
I doubt
going to
he's
be a
gonna
QB
get that.
though.
Yeah, it's probably going to be.
It's probably going to be Jaden Daniels.
Yes, Jane. I think he should.
Yeah.
He's been all year long from start to finish.
I
the
thought
best,
Bo had
the
a.
best
I think
rookie.
I thought Bo Nix had a
That-
nice run there for a minute, but he did.
Jaden
but-
was going to be mine because Jaden was the guy that was living in Caleb Williams' shadow.
Well, especially with
And
that
Jaden
last,
Williams,
the last couple weeks.
just
He's
led the fucking Commanders to the playoffs.
11 wins.
I mean, dude, who expected that? We both liked the Commanders. We're like,
Oh,
they're gonna be
dude.
like that tough team that's like a year away.
Yeah.
7-8 wins.
LSU's
you know what I mean?
has been pumping them out.
And Dan Quinn
Receivers,
just-
QBs.
yeah, dude.
LSU's been fucking pumping them out, dude. So yeah, I mean, that's a fun topic. But I think I do think as far as like anybody who plays fantasy or anything like that, I think Tyron Tracy is a guy that you can take in like the second round next year in fantasy drafts because I think. Especially if they upgrade the QB position, which I fully expect them to over there in the Giants. Could be Shadir Sanders. See what happens. I think that's a guy that's going to have a massive. He can have like a prime Le'Veon Bell type of year because he has that same kind of skill set.
Yep.
Home run hitter guy, converted wide receiver. Tyron Tracy is so good, bro.
Yep.
Keep an eye on that guy for sure.
All right,
But,
was that it?
Let me see. Yeah, that is Dan. Oh, Kyle chimes in, says Dan Quinn, love for coach of the year.
It's not a bad argument, man.
I think he's going to get it though.
I think O'Connell's going to probably get
got
it. But yeah, if Dan Quinn won it,
By
I'm
the
not
way-
gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
By the way, how wholesome have you guys been seeing those mic tests between Coach O'Connell and
I love it, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I think Sam Darnold's staying.
him and Sammy, dude, have a great connection.
Yep.
Dude, I love like him speaking to the microphone, talking about you're doing so good, buddy. I'm proud of you. You're working your ass off. I love seeing that shit
Yep.
from the QB and the coach. So I just thought that stuff was really, really cool to see. Really wholesome stuff between those two guys. But yeah, that's it, man, for the questions. That's it for the people.
Great stuff, guys, as always. Man, we really appreciate every single week when you guys chime in. We got a lot of people in here that we haven't had in a while, or new people. We love you guys all equally, and thank you guys so much for chiming in. Go to YouTube. If you haven't already done it, go to youtube.com, Facebook, or hit notify, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff on the Spoken Podcast. But get in the comments every single week. We love it when you guys do. It makes the show what it is. Trevor, we have one more order of business to get to. What is it called?
Hold It's L.
Each and every episode, we finish off every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports. Whether those L's are friendly L's or not so friendly L's in the world of sports, we promise you, who's ever holding those L's in the world of sports deserve those L's in the world of sports. Trevor *𝙿𝙾𝙺, who holds the L for you this week?
All right, so we talked about Chris Broussard earlier in the show. I'm also going to give him another L into this segment here. I'm just going to play this take here real quick and let you guys kind of fend for yourself on what you think, how you feel about this take here. Give me 1 second.
Something up, you're just gonna sit out. That's not fair either. It's not fair for Cincinnati that Denver gets to play a depleted Chiefs team that is resting healthy players. I get the philosophy of the Chiefs, but I'm saying it's not fair. It's not right. It's not competitive. Cincinnati's like, it's not right that they get to go against a bunch of backups this week when the playoffs are on the line. This is how it started in the NBA. Because there used to be a time when I covered the league, when you played 82 games, you won 65 games. You still played 82, and you just played the playoffs. Then it got to, you know what, got teams, we racked it up. We're sitting out the last week of the season to rest. And then it went to, we'll rest a little during the season against bad teams, or I play back-to-backs. And now it's just run amok, and you got this big load management problem. I'm not saying it'll get that way in the NFL. But what's to say if you sit out the last game of the season, like the Chiefs have done every year when they wrapped up? What's to say, you know what, now that we've locked up the division, maybe we'll sit out game 15. Or maybe, you know what, maybe this week we're 7-1. We're rolling.
That's enough. It's not fair, guys. It's not fair that we won 15 games and lost once, and we had this season wrapped up with the week to spare. Was it fair when we had to play 3 games in 11 days? Was it fair when the overtime rules fucked us and they had to change it the next season? Were those things fair to the Chiefs? We can talk about fair. Going 0-4 is your fault to start the season. Talk about what's fair. Why are we pandering to the Bengals? Why are we pandering to Joe Burrow? I don't understand. Because when the things were not fair for the Chiefs, those are the rules, guys. Don't give Tom Brady the ball in overtime. Was it fair when the overtime rules weren't fair? And they had to change it to make it more fair, and we still ended up winning that way. And then it wasn't fair again to Joe Burrow, to Josh Allen the next season. The goalpost continues to move when it comes to the Chiefs, man, and the success that we have. Now it's not fair because we have the opportunity to rest players because they have the 1 seed locked up in the AFC. That is a terrible take, in my opinion. Talk about fair. This is a grown man sport right here. So for that, Chris Broussard, do me a solid favor and hold this out.
You want to talk about what isn't fair, and is legitimately not fair, is the current NFL playoff structure. We are about to have a game between 2 divisional foes, and one of those teams is going to go from the 1 seed in the NFC with 14 wins to the 5 seed in the NFC with 14 wins. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, who will more than likely win the NFC South, are going to have 9 wins and host a fucking playoff game at home. The playoff structure on the NFL is archaic as fuck. And I'm one of the extreme people. I believe, Trevor, we should strip divisions away because they created divisions originally for travel. Because back then, back when it started, traveling was difficult. You have anywhere from 100 to 200 people with your team, and you're having to put them in flights and stuff. It was difficult. Technology has changed over the last 4 or 5 decades.
It's better for the competitive edge, too.
So get rid of fucking divisions. The best 7 records in each conference make the playoffs, and then you have the best teams, the best 4 teams, host playoff games. It's that simple. But they don't do it that way because the NFL doesn't like doing things simple. So the way that this is happening for the Vikings or Lions is so unfair to one of those 2 teams. They're the only teams that ever happened to, but we've seen it several times over where a bad team with a losing record or a 500 record are hosting a playoff game against a team that's got 4 or 5 more wins than them. It's absurd. It's insane. And for that, until the NFL changes it, they got to do me a solid and hold this out because it is unbelievably asinine. Guys, this has been a fun show. We were sorry we had to jam pack it so quickly. We've had a lot of stuff going on. And like I said, the weather's about to get bad. So we don't want to keep you guys too long. We hope that you're safe with your families. Everything's good for you guys. We hope that the holiday season was great for you guys as well. But we got to get the hell up out of here. For Trevor Twidwell, for Great Clay Wendler that puts all this together on the back end of things at Red Tribe Cinema, I'm Lance Twidwell for the entire Starcade Media family. Episode 297 of the Spoken Podcast is done, finished, finito. And until we're back here in 1 week's time to be talking to you guys about a potential playoff scenario, which we're stoked as hell about. We can't wait to get to. We out of this bitch.
Go Chiefs. They're here.